I was an early student of how to learn how to call and how to learn to hunt. I've been a hunter all my life, but I got into turkeys, later. But I put a lot of effort into thinking about listening and working with it. But in those early years, there weren't all these videos and everything. There weren't any videos. There was a record or two, but, it was all mostly trial and error. So I'd use a mouth call. It does pretty good. Now, some people have problems with it, but, most turkey hunters carry a variety call. I carry a Slate, and I carry an aluminum Slate type call, and I carry a box, and I carry a couple of diaphragms. Sometimes anything will work, and sometimes you got to push the right button. But I use a diaphragm a lot, and I use my box a lot. Now I use this. This is a space diaphragm that I have here, and it makes a good sound. That's a typical yelp of a hen. Most of the calls are a cluck or a yelp, and you use hen calls mostly to call gobblers, and that's what I was just doing. First, I do that with my Slate, but it can have different meanings depending on the context. It can be, they'll do brute purrs, soft purrs a lot of times, and then like that is aggressive fighting purrs. When the gobblers are fighting or even hens are fighting, they'll make what's called fighting purrs. So it's how loud and how aggressive in the context is what it is. And a lot of it has to do with the vocalization with their body posture and how loud and aggressive in the tone of what they do. Clucks can mean, I'm here, where are you? Or clucks can mean, oh no, danger ahead. Turkeys, a lost call. The hens will use it when she's rounding up her pups. And it's just a long series of yelps. Yelp, 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 yelp. Or hens that are lost and looking for company will do it. But it's just a longer series of yelps. Typically, the yelps are 3 to 5 times, but a lost call can be long of them. But I don't typically use that. If he gobbles back to me while you're yelping, you can't hear him very well, and you don't know what direction he's in very well. So I just typically use 3 to 5, yelp, 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 like that. Calling's overrated overall, being able to call and do different calls. But what's important is the context. What's he doing? What's he thinking? He's not thinking very complicated. And, if he's with hens, you got to try something different. You got to try to rev up the hen or pry him away from the hen, or sometimes you can call him with the hens. Typically not, though. So, you got to adjust, and sometimes it's best not to call. Several times I've been in situations where you got a gobbler and a dozen hens, and you're between them and the roost site, and they're coming along. Well, if you start calling and you get their interest, you got a dozen hens looking for you. Well, you're not going to be able to get him. They're going to spook before you ever have a chance at him. So just shut up then. And that's the hardest thing to do.